Saranda is fast becoming one of Europe's new hotspots, so I had to come here myself and check it out. Hey, it is Aliki here, and in this video I will share with you everything you need to know about Saranda, what to do here and around. So I would like to start with where to stay, because I feel like that's the most important thing you have to do before you even come to Saranda. You have to decide out the location. Doesn't matter if you stay for a week or a month or more. I feel like if you don't pick a good location, that might influence your trip. So in a bigger picture, you can see that the houses are kind of built higher and higher up, and maybe it doesn't seem such a big hill, but trust me, the hill is big. And if you are planning to go often to the promenade and beach, and you know you're not gonna have a car, I definitely highly recommend staying at the first line or maximum the second line. So I did a little picture here where basically green one is the first line and then the orange bit is like the second line, and I would literally maximum stay around that orange line because anything else will be a hike up and down every day. Of course, if you decide to have a car, then you have a complete freedom. You can stay at the top of the mountain, have an amazing views. But I feel like in general, if you just want to stay here and have like convenient, you know, go to the shops and the promenade and the beach, I think it's just easy to stay at the first or second line, because then you don't need a car and you can access everything easily. So yeah, when booking, I think if you see in the pictures the views, that's all great, but check how high the apartment is, and maybe the views are not worth the hike up and down every day. And also from the second and first line, you really get a beautiful views to the sea too. Whichever location you pick, you don't have to worry about safety. Saranda is fairly safe. It's a tourist town, it's a beach town. You know, it's mostly hotels, restaurants here. I've been walking around in the evening late alone, so I feel like this place is really fairly safe. Then another thing to note is, of course, the area you're staying at. And again, I made a little map here where the green circle basically is the port, the center, where the life is, where everything is. If you book a place there, you'll be near to everything. Then I stayed in the orange circle, which I think is still fine, but it will require 10 to 15 minutes to get to places, and it is still a good location, but not as inconvenient as the green circle. And everything past the red line is purely hotels. If you're coming off season, then you definitely want to stay closer to the port and old town, just because yeah, you don't want to be stuck somewhere far away in the hotel area where everything is closed. So this kind of brings me to my next point, traveling off season, which I highly recommend, because the weather in October is absolutely excellent. It's still really warm. In the sun, it's so hot. So the weather is absolutely excellent. It's September, October, and I can just imagine how hot it gets in August. So I personally don't deal with the heat. I think I wouldn't enjoy the heat here in August, but I know a lot of people do. So I feel like traveling in the peak season in summer is amazing. And then also you can come in September, you can come in October, and you will be guaranteed a hot, nice weather. All right, let's dive into the fun part of all the things you can do in Saranda. So Saranda itself actually is quite small. It's a very typical tourist kind of town, city, and there aren't too many like things you know must see and come miss out on. It's more like a lifestyle things to do, but there are a lot of amazing places to visit around Saranda, and basically kind of do a day trip out of them. So first, Saranda. I feel like the main thing is really to walk on the promenade, just take a chill, have a stroll, you know, embrace the local life, and yeah, just walk on the promenade, having a lunch there. It's just like kind of like the best social place where to be. So that would be a one must do, basically walk from the port to the other side of the promenade. But at the middle of the promenade, you're gonna find a lovely cafe. It's kind of like based on embankment, so you get amazing views of the sea and the city. There you will find loads of different coffee options, and it's just a really lovely place where to chill and have a little break. So of course, a must do is to enjoy Saranda beach and beaches around. And in Saranda, you're gonna find a public beach that is completely free to use. There are sunbeds that you can rent out, but yeah, you can just have, you know, your towel and use the beach for free. And what I really like, they actually have showers in the public beaches. So there is the one main beach that is fairly big. I mean, in the peak season probably it's very crowded, but off season it was perfect. But also, like, all the way down the promenade there are a little bits where you can access the water and have like these little beach spots. So depending where you're gonna stay, you don't have to just rely on that one public beach. There are loads of little accesses to the water, to the beach. If you want more comfort and sunbaths and lunch and all that, then literally where I highlighted with the red line, after that red line in the hotel district, let's say, let's call it like that, the whole coast is basically hotels and beach bars. So if you want to stay better in a beach bar by the coast, then you will have loads of options the further you go down the hotel strip. Of course, there are loads of little tiny beaches all around Saranda, and a very popular thing to do is to rent a boat or go on a little boat trip. And do not worry, you don't have to book anything in advance. There is a place where there is literally loads of boat rentals and like people offering boat tours, and you can literally just go in the morning, and if you feel like it, just go on a boat tour and enjoy some other beaches around Saranda. And for the best views of Saranda and the surrounding areas and even Corfu, you have to make your way up to the highest peak in Saranda. There you will find a castle that is now made into a restaurant and a really lovely viewpoint where to watch sunset. So yeah, this place definitely has to be the top sunset watching spot in Saranda. If you are after some of the most beautiful beaches in Saranda, then you definitely have to do a day trip to Xamil. It's super easy. There is a bus from Saranda Center that goes to Xamil, and in Xamil you're gonna find some of the most beautiful beaches. Those are the beaches that you see on Instagram that people compare to Maldives. So unfortunately, I don't have videos that really represent the beauty of the place, because the day we went, it was cloudy and we just kind of had a little coffee there, and it was just like a chill day, not a beach day. So I didn't got my Maldives shots. So my videos are not the best representation of the place, but I feel like, yeah, definitely if you are after some really beautiful beaches, a wonderful beach day in the beach bar, then Xamil will be your perfect day trip from Saranda. And I feel like one day trip I really want to mention that is very specific to the area, to Albania, is the Blue Eye. If you have a day and time only for one place, then definitely go and visit, because it's so unique. It's basically a cave, and then the water comes from the cave, and just the colors and the whole area is wonderful. So yeah, I feel like that place is really special and unique to this area, and you have to visit. But I am going in detail in all the amazing day trips you can do around Saranda in my blog article, and I will link it in the description. Okay, another big topic. Is Saranda really that cheap? I feel like Saranda has become this hotspot, not just because it's absolutely beautiful place, but because it's also affordable. And from my personal experience being here for a month, I would say it's a 50-50. So yes, in general, renting an apartment, hotels are cheaper than in a lot of places in Europe. So having that incredible beach, crystal clear water, right? For the location like that, the apartments and hotels are cheaper. But I would say restaurants, the food, like just buying groceries and, you know, basically food-wise, I wouldn't say it is like the cheapest place. Like, I feel like restaurants definitely charge a bit more because it is a tourist town, and like if you do want to find, you know, cheap eats, be on a budget, then you like have to research and find like good eats for affordable prices. Also, I would stick like whenever the place is called Taverna something, it's definitely going to be cheaper. It's kind of like the local restaurant. But yeah, I feel like every meal I had, it wasn't like cheap. It also wasn't expensive. I haven't had any expensive meal. Also, the car rental, I mean, the good part of it is that there are car rentals on every single corner, so you can literally just go in the morning and get a car for sure in like 10 minutes. No one literally asks you anything. Like, we've never left a deposit, or they literally just take a copy of your driving license. Like, I don't know, maybe it's because it was off season. I can't say about the peak season, but like renting a car has been super easy. But again, the prices, I feel like they aren't cheap. Like, if you want to have a good day and have a car and go around and explore on your own, like, it's still like average European prices. So I feel like if you are budget traveling, you are planning it and you're researching, you're going just to like tavernas and very like fast food places, but fast food here is not fast food but you think fast food. So they don't have Burger King, they don't have McDonald's, but like the fast food are like kebabs and wraps and stuff like that. So if you really plan it through, you just go to the public beach, you know, you can do this trip quite on a budget. It's definitely going to be cheaper than going to some other European towns, you know, with beautiful beaches. But if you're just coming for a holiday, you just want to go to a nice place and eat and stay in some beach bars and stuff like that, it will sum up at the end. It's not going to be like super cheap and affordable. So just putting out my experience, how I see the prices, because I feel like Albania and, well, Saranda specifically, I'm talking here Saranda, the beach town, is said to be this affordable Maldives, but it isn't that cheap. In online, people talk how affordable it is. I obviously have higher expectations. I thought it's gonna be like really cheap, but it's not. It's like food-wise, you know, enjoying yourself, coffees, ice creams, all that. It's like super average European prices. I think another reason why Albania has been set as this like affordable destination is because actually the flights are not that expensive. Like you book and you check, you can actually find quite good flights to the capital, Tirana. So then the only problem with getting to Saranda is you actually have to take like a 4-hour bus or you have to rent a car. So it's not as direct as just to fly in and get to the beach. Which is why I came up with an alternative that I want to share with you, with actually turn out to be cheaper for me and I save time. So what you can do, you can fly into Corfu, then it's like a 10-minute taxi drive from the Corfu airport to port, and then from the port you take a half-an-hour boat ride to Albania, to Saranda directly. So this actually worked out for me better, because if I would have flown into Tirana, which I would have flown in the evening, because obviously I have to take 2 flights to get to Tirana, I would have to spend money and time staying in Tirana in a hotel, and then the next day spend time and money to take a bus or car to Saranda. Whereas with Corfu, I flew into Corfu, I was able to catch the last boat, and literally by evening, I was already in Saranda in my apartment. So yeah, I feel like that is a really good alternative how to get to Saranda. And I'm going more into detail about the ships and the companies, you know, all the practical bits. That's all going to be on my blog. So if you are planning your trip to Saranda, make sure to check it out. It's going to be in the description, the link to it. Alright, so overall this place is wonderful. The weather is excellent. Like it is a really wonderful place to be at and escape the European winter, because it's like end of October and it's still lovely and warm here. And also loads of beautiful places to visit around, but I do have to cover some negatives. And there is one massive negative, which is literally 95% of all the places will accept only cash. We are talking restaurants, we're talking shops, we're talking even tickets, boat tickets and car rentals. Everything will only accept cash. Now thinking about it, it's actually the only place that's gonna take card will be the grocery stores, but also if you just want to buy like a little thing or two, they're not gonna take the card. Like you have to spend a specific amount for you to be able to pay with the card, which for me personally is a big downside. Like in the times when we're dealing with so many currencies and we're traveling, and I mean, I traveled whole of South America, and even people on the street vendors had like little card machines. So me now coming to European country where I like expect to buy everything with the card, like I couldn't use my card, I had to take the cash out. So you are losing out on the ATM fees, or you're gonna be losing out on exchanging money. Like it really annoys me, because I feel like these days we just pay with a card everywhere. So that was like a really annoying bit for me. And like in Corfu, which is like a 30-minute boat ride, you could buy everything with a card. So it's not just like an area thing, it's literally here in Saranda, like the card thing doesn't exist. Said that, at least they do have ATMs very often. And unfortunately, I have been a bit disappointed in the food. Like in general, it's just been like a lot of places are like a good 7 or 8. Said that, there are 2 places that are incredible. The food is amazing. There is this one veggie place, and then there is this like fast food place, but really it's not fast food. They have amazing massive Greek salad and oven baked pizza, and the place is incredible because it's actually like cheapish. It's really good prices. So I did find a few places that were really good, but in general it wasn't like you could go to any restaurant and you're gonna have like a good meal, because I had loads of hopes for the seafood because we are literally by the beach. And the seafood was, well, maybe I'm spoiled from all my travels, I take that, because I've been having some incredible food while traveling so many amazing places. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed in the seafood, but I did find a few really good places. So I'm not gonna go into detail about places now, but I'll have summarized them all on my blog, and you're gonna find them in the blog in the description. You can have the best time in Saranda, because this is amazing place. If you research, if you're ready, if you have the expectations in the right place, you know, then you're really gonna have a wonderful time here. So as you probably gathered from the video, I've spent here now 1 month, and next I'm going up the north to Tirana, and I feel like that might be a whole different world, because this is super like south, tourist town, you know, beaches, and then we're gonna have the capital, which is another digital nomad hub. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be checking out the place, you know, and I really can't wait to share with you also like the north part of the country. So yeah, make sure to subscribe to my channel to find and see more information about Albania. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and I'll see you in my other videos.